Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we've got a pile of source material here all about portable power.
That's right.
And we're going to pull out the really critical stuff, the key differences between, well, the two main kinds of generators you'll find.
Yep.
Our mission, really, is to give you that core knowledge you need so you can pick the right machine, before the next power outage actually happens.
Which is becoming more and more important.
It really is. Let's just face it, reliable power isn't like a luxury anymore, is it? It's pretty fundamental.
Totally.
Supports everything, working from home, keeping medical gear running, whether you're thinking about blackouts at home or maybe planning some big camping trip way off grid.
Miles from anywhere.
You've got to know which generator is actually going to deliver for you.
That's the absolute key.
Yeah.
And we're basically splitting the generator world into these two camps today.
Okay.
You've got your traditional generators. Think of them as the workhorses.
Yeah.
Real rugged, kind of fixed machines that powered us through the last century.
Right, the classics.
And then you have the inverter generators. These are let's say, the quieter, cleaner, more sort of computerized evolution, really built for our modern electronic world.
Yeah.
So the goal is to match the right power solution to your specific needs and, maybe more importantly, your vulnerabilities.
Okay, let's start unpacking that, beginning with the workhorse.
Yeah.
The traditional generator.
The old reliable.
Yeah, these have been the go-to for decades, really.
Mm-hmm.
And their main job is, well, pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
They burn fuel, turn an engine, make electricity. Just delivering raw, kind of robust power. Good for the heavy lifting.
And that raw capability, that's their main advantage, right? When you dig into the sources, that's where traditional generators really stand out. Unmatched power output.
Big numbers.
Big numbers. If you need to run a whole house, maybe a well pump during a big outage or, heavy-duty tools on a job site.
They're like saws, compressors.
Exactly. You need a maximum wattage. And the traditional unit gives you that, usually at a lower initial cost. They're often cheaper to buy up front.
But the very reason they give you all that raw power, that's also tied into their biggest downsides, isn't it? It boils down to the engine speed.
That's precisely it. This is the critical technical point that explains, almost everything about them.
Okay.
See, to produce the standard 60 hertz frequency we need for our appliances in the US, the engine has to run at one constant speed, usually 3,600 revolutions per minute.
Always. 3,600 RPM.
Always. Doesn't matter how much power you're actually using. Full load, tiny load, same speed.
Right.
And that fixed kind of full throttle approach leads straight to two big issues. First one, noise.
Ah, yes, the noise.
The sources consistently rate these things between, 70 and 90 decibels?
Which is loud.
Very loud. To give you some perspective, that's like having a big lawnmower running constantly right outside your house.
Yeah, and if the power's out for days,
yeah,
you're not just in the dark, you're dealing with this constant loud drone. That's a real quality of life hit during an emergency.
Oh, absolutely. A huge one. Especially if you've got neighbors nearby, they won't be happy. And the second major consequence of that, fixed 3,600 RPM inefficiency.
Because it's always running flat out.
Exactly. Since the engine's always at max speed, it's guzzling fuel at the same rate, pretty much regardless of the load. Doesn't matter if you're running a huge fridge or just charging your phone.
Still burning fuel like crazy?
Same rate. So this really impacts your running costs over time, especially in a long outage.
Okay, you mentioned budget earlier as a plus for the traditional ones, lower upfront cost.
Right.
But if they're burning, say, 30 or 40% more fuel every hour compared to the other type, doesn't that initial saving just kind of disappear pretty fast? Especially if the power's out for a few days.
That's the paradox the sources keep pointing out. It's the classic paradox.
Right.
You save maybe $500 buying it, but then you might spend an extra $1,000, maybe more, on gasoline over its whole lifespan. That's a calculation you really need to do.
It's a crucial one.
And the final big trade-off with the traditional design is power quality.
Okay, what does that mean exactly? Power quality.
Well, because they rely on that sort of brute force combustion process, the electricity they produce is often called variable power or sometimes dirty power.
Dirty power. Doesn't sound good.
It isn't for some things. It means the electrical signal, the sine wave, isn't smooth, it's rough, prone to little spikes and dips in voltage.
And what does that dirty power actually do to my stuff, my electronics?
Okay, think of it like this. Clean power is like drinking pure, smooth water.
Okay.
Dirty power, with those voltage swings and what's called harmonic distortion, it's like drinking water with grit or little bits of gravel in it.
Oh.
It stresses out the delicate internal bits, the microprocessors in your sensitive electronics. It can mess up data, crash your computer, or just wear things out faster. Laptops, smart TVs, modern security systems, they don't like it.
So if you absolutely have to run sensitive gear during an outage, a traditional generator might be risky.
It's definitely a big red flag to consider, yes.
Which brings us nicely to the evolution you mentioned, the inverter generator.
Modern solution.
Yeah, this tech wasn't just about brute force output. It was specifically designed to create clean, stable power. Power that's fit for, well, the digital age we live in.
And what's really interesting is how this advanced inverter technology basically addresses every single major drawback of the traditional design. It's a completely different user experience.
How does it work differently?
Well, the engine still burns fuel, sure, but the process after that is much more sophisticated.
Okay.
The generator first creates high-frequency AC power. Then step 2, it immediately converts that into DC power, like battery power.
Right.
Then, step 3, it uses this complex electronic brain, the inverter part, to carefully change it back into AC power. But this time, it's a perfect, stable, pure sine wave.
So it cleans it up, that extra conversion and filtering step.
That's the magic right there. That's where the electronic safe, clean power comes from. Minimal harmonic distortion. That's the technical term.
And that's not just about, keeping your Netflix running smoothly during a storm.
Not at all.
The sources really stress this point. If you depend on home medical equipment, or if having your security system fried by a power surge is just not an option, then clean power is really an essential safety feature.
It absolutely is. For sensitive gear, clean power isn't nice to have, it's a must-have, a non-negotiable requirement.
Okay.
And for a lot of people, maybe the most noticeable difference with an inverter is just how much quieter they are.
Yeah, I was looking at the numbers in the sources. The difference in decibels is kind of amazing. You go from that 70 to 90 decibel range
Our lawnmower noise.
down to just 50 to the 60 decibels with an inverter.
Which is basically moving from that loud lawnmower down to the sound level of, say, a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Or maybe quiet street traffic.
Oh.
It means you can actually run an inverter at a campsite without annoying everyone, use it for tailgating, or run it in your backyard in a residential area without driving yourself or your neighbors crazy.
That difference alone would be huge during a long outage. Life-changing almost.
It really can be. And because the inverter process needs that clever electronic board anyway,
Right, the computer brain.
they also managed to fix that fuel waste problem we talked about with the traditional ones.
The constant 3 to 600 RPM issue.
Exactly. They fix it using what's often called smart engine technology, or maybe an eco throttle.
Okay.
Remember how the traditional engine had to run at full speed all the time?
Yeah.
The inverter engine doesn't. Its speed automatically adjusts based on how much power you're actually drawing.
Oh, that's clever.
It is. So if you're only running, say, your laptop and charging a phone, the engine slows right down. It just sips fuel.
Extending your runtime quite a bit, I imagine.
Hugely. You're potentially stretching a single gallon of gas much, much further.
So how much more efficient are we talking?
Well, the sources suggest this can mean using up to maybe 40% less fuel compared to a traditional generator doing the same job.
40%. That's significant.
It really is. And it completely changes that whole cost discussion we had earlier.
Right. The upfront cost versus running cost paradox.
Exactly. That higher initial price for the inverter, it often gets paid back over time through major savings on gas. And maybe just as critically, by not damaging your expensive electronics. That's a cost saving too.
Good point. Plus, they seem designed to be moved around more easily.
Yeah, generally they are. The sources often highlight their sort of ultra-portable, lightweight, compact design, much easier to handle.
So good for RVs, camping, maybe setting up a temporary workspace somewhere.
Perfect for that. And they have another trick up their sleeve, flexibility through modularity.
Modularity.
Yeah, many inverters have what's called parallel capability.
Okay.
It means you can actually take two smaller, lighter inverter units, connect them with a special cable, and get nearly double the power output.
Oh, interesting. So you combine their power.
Right.
Right.
For when you need more juice temporarily. Then, when you only need a little bit of power, you just unhook them and run one small, quiet, efficient unit.
So you get scalable power. You don't have to buy one single massive, heavy, traditional unit, just in case you need high power sometimes.
Precisely. You get options, more flexibility.
Okay, let's quickly touch on the price difference again before we sort of pull it all together for the decision.
Sure.
Traditional generators, they start a bit lower, maybe around $300 going up to $3,000 or potentially more for the really big ones.
Right, that's the ballpark.
But inverters, because of all that complex tech inside,
The computer brain, the filtering.
they typically start higher, maybe $500, and can go up to $4,000 or even more. So you are paying a premium up front.
You definitely are. For the quietness, the efficiency, and that clean power.
So connecting this back to the big picture, you're basically weighing two main things, right?
Yeah, I think it boils down to two key trade-offs.
Noise versus maximum raw power.
And initial budget versus the total cost over the generator's life, including fuel and potential damage. The traditional gives you that brute force power and the lower sticker price, but it's loud, thirsty for fuel, and potentially risky for electronics.
And the inverter.
The inverter gives you quiet operation, amazing fuel savings in the long run, and safe power for sensitive stuff. But it costs more to buy initially, and the maximum wattage might be lower unless you link two together.
The difference really should guide the choice, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
So let's try to nail down some final use case summaries for folks listening.
Okay, sounds good. Let's summarize. Choose a traditional generator if you need fixed maximum power for really heavy loads.
Like a big central AC unit or a powerful well pump.
Exactly. Or maybe running big tools on a construction site where nobody cares about the noise.
Right.
Also, choose traditional if that initial purchase price is your absolute number one deciding factor and you only expect to use it for very rare short outages.
Okay. And conversely,
you should definitely lean towards an inverter generator if quiet operation is essential.
so residential neighborhoods, campgrounds, maybe outdoor events.
Perfect examples. Also, choose an inverter if you must safely power sensitive electronics. Computers, medical devices, modern communication gear.
Non-negotiable clean power.
Right. And choose an inverter if fuel efficiency and getting the longest possible runtime during multi-day blackouts is a high priority for you. Or, simply, if you need something easily portable.
For camping, tailgating, that kind of thing.
Yeah. The reality is almost every modern home now is filled with devices that really benefit from or even require that clean, stable power only the inverter provides.
That's a good point.
For most homeowners today, I'd argue the need for quiet, efficient, clean power has actually overtaken the need for just raw brute force output.
Which brings us back to the fundamental why, doesn't it? Why even have a generator? The modern need for backup power isn't just about keeping the lights on anymore.
No, not at all.
It's really about preventing bigger problems. The source materials really hammer this home. A generator today is about peace of mind against some very real disruptions.
Absolutely. We're talking about avoiding major financial loss from, say, hundreds of dollars of spoiled food in the fridge and freezer, or ruined medications.
Right. Crucial stuff.
Maintaining vital communication, keeping phones charged, internet routers running so you can get information or work, keeping security systems online.
And for some people,
And for anyone who relies on powered medical equipment at home, a generator isn't convenience. It's a genuine life safety device.
so wrapping this all up, what's the takeaway? The core question, like the sources suggest, it isn't really whether you need backup power anymore.
That seems pretty clear in today's world.
The real question is which type is right for you. Is it the raw power and the lower initial cost of that traditional workhorse? Or is it the clean power, the quiet operation, and the long-term efficiency of the modern inverter that will best secure your safety, your comfort, your specific needs in the reality of your life?
At the end of the day, the investment is in comfort, yes, but also safety and that invaluable peace of mind.
So the really provocative thought we want to leave you with today, digging into these sources. If you actually calculate the lifetime cost of owning a traditional generator, factoring in all that extra fuel it burns, maybe increased maintenance down the line, and the very real financial risk of it damaging an expensive laptop or TV with dirty power, does that seemingly lower upfront price tag actually end up costing you far, far more in the long run? Something to think about.